asking for can be found on your server. So if we take a look here, they're asking for a screenshot and a program icon and where your pad file will be kept. So we need to, oh, and your download, where the actual software is. So let's go back to the desktop and find the main file that we created, the socialmediadaily.exe file. That's the Internet Explorer toolbar that we're working on. And I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it Toolbar. And then I'm going to keep all of my toolbar related things in there. So I'm going to rename it to Toolbar. And I'm going to drag and drop my socialmediadaily.exe software into my toolbar folder. Whatever your software was called, .exe, you want to put it in there. And you also want to put in your Internet Explorer software because you'll keep it in the same place. This is the .xpi toolbar that you created. So drop that into your toolbar folder and open it on up. Now what you'll need for the screenshot that PadGen is asking for and the program icon is some sort of screen capture software. And I like to use Snagit. Snagit is available on, I believe it's a 30-day free trial from techsmith.com. So if you don't have a screen capture software that you're happy with, head on over to techsmith.com and download their Snagit program and you can use that. And then you need to go over back to Conduit and take a screenshot of your toolbar as you created it. So let's do that. When you get back to Conduit, you want to click on the login button. And to log in here, you enter the name of the toolbar that you created, and the password that you selected. And I just told IE that no, I don't want it to remember that password. And there's my RoboForm asking me the same thing. If you don't have RoboForm, by the way, you should get it. They have a free version that's really cool if you don't want to pay for it. I think it's just at roboform.com. It remembers all your passwords for you. So here we've got the Social Media Daily toolbar that I created. This is exactly what it looks like for people that download it. So once it finishes loading, I'll have it here and I can create a screenshot of it. So I'm going to open my TechSmith Snagit screen capture software, and I want to capture a region, and I'm going to draw a little circle around it, and I want to save it to my desktop in that folder that I created that's going to have all my toolbar related files in it. So the folder that I created was Toolbar, and yours should be called that too, and this is going to be called Screenshot, so that I know exactly what it is. And then I'm going to click Save. And I'm done there. And now I need to create an program icon because PadGen asks for a program icon. Now one of the specifications of the program icon is that it should be 32 by 32. So I'm going to reopen Snagit and hit capture. Now if you look, when I draw my circle, or when I draw my square, you could see little tiny numbers there popping up. And it tells me exactly how big my square is. So I'm going to make one that's 32. Oh, I should have, you know what you should do? If you hold, done, I messed up. If you hold down the shift button while you draw your square, it'll actually create it as a, it'll say make it be a square instead of a rectangle, so it'll be easier for me to get 32 by 32. So 30, there it is, 32. So now I have an icon, and here it is up here, and in Snagit I'll hit Save As, and in my toolbar folder I want to save it there again so that all my toolbar things are in one place, and I'll save it as icon so that I know that that's my toolbar icon, and then I'm done. Next, we want to take all the files that we just created and put in our Toolbar folder and add them to our web server. So you will go and use whatever FTP program you use. I happen to use Smart FTP, and you might use Qt FTP or FileZilla, whatever you use, and open it on up and navigate to your website. And once you've made it over to your website and your FTP program, you want to upload the entire Toolbar folder there. And I do it with a drag and drop. So I'm going to drag it and drop it into my website directory. And it's going to upload all those files for me into one convenient place called Toolbar. At that point, we can head on back over to PadGen, and we'll have the rest of the information that we need to fill out these forms. Now, the application info field is where people can find information about your software that you created, and in this case, we're working on the Toolbar. So this is another opportunity to link to your website. So you want to just go ahead and put your main website URL. Now the application order field, which is the second one there, is where people would go to get information on purchasing your software if your software was for purchase. In our case, we've created a free software, so we're just going to go ahead and put our main URL there again. Now the screenshot field is where people can find, where the software directories can pull a screenshot of your software so that they can feature that screenshot on their pages. That way when somebody's browsing the software directories and looking at your software, they can have a screenshot of it before they download it. So in my case, what we did was we created that Toolbar folder and uploaded that to our main web server. So you'll put http:// and then your website /toolbar, because we uploaded everything in that Toolbar folder, and then screenshot.jpg. That's where on your website that file can be found. The program icon, I'm going to copy and paste the screenshot and instead change the name to icon.jpg, because that's where we put the icon folder on our website. The pad XML file, well, we don't have that up there yet because we haven't created the pad file. We're right in the middle of creating the pad file right now. However, when the pad file is created, you'll want to put it right into your Toolbar folder, and then it's going to be called pad.xml. The primary download URL is where the main program, the Toolbar exe, can be found on your website. So that's in the same place as the screenshot and the program icon in the pad file. It's your website /toolbar / and then it's going to be whatever the name of your software was. Now my software, remember, was called socialmediadaily.exe. So if I actually click rename, I can highlight this, Control-C, copy it, and then delete screenshot and paste socialmediadaily.exe. Yours is going to be yourwebsite.com /toolbar / the name of your software. The secondary download URL, we're just going to copy our primary and paste it into the secondary download URL. If you have additional downloads, you would put them here. We're not going to be using that for the purposes of this tutorial, so you don't need to worry about it. The next three tabs are permissions, affiliates, and ASP, and you don't need to worry about any of those. Next, you want to go over to File and click Verify Entries. And what this is going to do is create a little file that validates and makes sure that everything is okay with your pad file that you've created so far. And you want to check and make sure that anything that's in bright red is something that you didn't miss by accident. Like in my case, my address 2 is blank. Well, that's okay because I don't have an address 2. Program cost is empty. That's okay because we're doing a free software. Expiration info is empty, as you can see in red. That's okay because the software doesn't have an expiration. And then down here, this is all stuff on the affiliates tab that we didn't use because our software is free. So these are all going to be red and you don't need to worry about that. So nothing important is highlighted red. It looks like I have filled it out completely and properly. So I'm done and I can close out of the validation. And then you want to generate your pad file. Now that you know that everything is the way that it needs to be, go down to File and click Generate Pad File. And you'll get a window asking you where you want to save it. Save it in your Toolbar folder. And save it as pad.xml. You'll get a notification that it was generated successfully, and then you need to open your Toolbar folder. There's your pad file, and let's open it with TextPad just so that you can see what it looks like inside. Alright, here's what my pad file looks like, and as you can see, it sort of looks like an RSS feed looks like if you read it in plain text instead of in an RSS feed reader. And it just has different fields and then the information in them. So all of my information is in here about the Toolbar software that I created. So all the software directories will read this and use it to populate their sites. So that looks good. Next thing I need to do is upload that pad file to my web server. Now remember, it was in the Toolbar folder. So I need to put it in the Toolbar folder on my server. And it's going to go ahead and do that. And once it's done, go back into PadGen, and you want to do one last check to make sure that everything worked out the way that it was supposed to. And I've been known to make a mistake or two, so we want to check this. Right next to the fields where you could fill out your information is a little link with the web on it, the world. And you click each one, and it's going to open all of these things in your browser. And it's going to make sure when you open it in your browser that they actually did go to a real page in your browser. So let's, oh, here we go. My browser is telling me that I've chosen to open my toolbar that I created. Do I want to save it or cancel? Well, I already have it, and since I know that it found it, I know that it's in the right place where the pad file says, so I can go ahead and click cancel. And since it's a primary and secondary download and I clicked it for both, it's asking me again for the second one. And I'm going to cancel it because I know that it found it properly. And then I'm going to go to my browser and make sure that everything that it opened properly and went to an actual page instead of getting like a 404 error. So my main URL was my blog, and it went to my blog. Very good. And here's the screenshot. Let me move this up so you can see it. I see that my screenshot is where it's supposed to be, my icon is where it's supposed to be, and my actual pad file is where it's supposed to be. So it looks like I've uploaded everything properly, and you need to check and make sure too that you did. Just to make sure that when you submit this to the software directories, everything goes where it's supposed to go. So that's it. You've successfully created your own software, and you've successfully created a pad file to let the software directory